that I would hop on here this evening and show you guys my latest duplicate stitch project. I sketched this out in my new book that's available on Amazon. It's the Knitting Machine Project Planning Journal. In this book, I have a place to list the projects you want to make, grid paper, I have graphs. It's all the stuff that I usually use when I'm planning my projects. I have pages for yarn inventory. I have pages to design different hats. But the grid paper and the dot paper is what I use the most. Before this video, I went ahead and knitted a beanie. I just did 100 rows on my Addi king size. It's just the same inside and out. But for the purpose of this video, I wanted to hop on and stitch this with you guys. So to start, I'm going to do black, do the outline, and do the little toad guy's head and his eyes. What we're going to do is we're going to put it on a yarn needle. And we're going to cut a decent length. I don't like my yarn to be too very long when I'm doing duplicate stitching. I'll zoom you guys in here. Woo, that's a little too much, I think. Ah, there we go. And with a duplicate stitch, if you stretch your project up, it's a lot easier. And what you do is we're going to insert our yarn needle at the bottom of a stitch. You're going to leave a decent tail inside of your hat that you can't see. I usually just leave it hang out the bottom, that way I know it's long enough. And then we're going to go in the stitch above it, the bottom two loops. And then we're going to go down in the same hole that we just came up through. And this gives the appearance that we used black thread or black yarn when we were making this stitch. I'm going to pull it a little tight so it matches. And we'll zoom out just a little bit. This thing is so touchy, I apologize. I just did this stitch here on number 12. So I'm going to go clear over and do the bottom of this toad, which I'm actually going to mark that this is 8 stitches just so I don't lose count when I'm stitching, because that happens sometimes. So we're going to go in the one right next to it, go through the bottom, go through the top two. I need to make my second strand a little shorter here. Just adjust that on the needle really quick. There's 2 stitches. Sometimes I find that doing a duplicate stitch is a little bit better than doing like Fair Isle. It's easier to correct, and you're not dealing with multiple strands while you're trying to knit your project. This is stitch number 5. A key to duplicate stitch is you want to find the right tension, because you don't want to pull too tight and your project look puckered. Then if you have it too loose, it looks bad as well. One more stitch here. So now I have finished these 8 stitches. So I'm going to go up 1 row and over 1 stitch. And then we're going to go up one over one again. Poke through the middle there. There we go. So I am just gonna, for my own sake, mark where I just went. I know it's black, but sometimes you can tell when you go over if you get a little sloppy. So I just did these 3 stitches here. So I gotta decide whether I wanna go over and up and then come back around, or how I wanna do this. I think my best course of action will be to go do these 2 stitches to complete the little letter T right here and then go up. So I'm going to do a stitch here. And then we're going to go over one, do a stitch on the other side there. So again, our little pattern wants us to go up one and over one. So I'm right here on this number 7. We're going to go up 6 stitches. So we're in this row right here. I'm going to do the 3rd stitch if I can poke through. Sometimes it's hard to find the right hole when you're working from behind. 3. And I am going through both layers. You know, this is a reversible beanie. I'm going through both layers working from the middle. 4. Oh, that one was a little tight. Stretch it out. Okay, this was stitch number 6. So at this point, I'm right here. So I'm going to go up one and over one, but in the other direction. Right there. And this is 2 stitches. Loosen that up a little bit. Pull my 2nd strand a little. Make that, there we go. We're going up one over one again. So we're going to poke through the middle here. Ooh! Made my 2nd one a little too short, didn't I? There we go. And we're going up again. Do one right beside it. Again, we're right here now. Excuse me. I'm just having the worst yarn needle luck this evening, huh? Okay, there we go. Make this a little longer. Now we're gonna go do 6 stitches across this way. And that's up 1 row. Here's 4. 5. And 6. Now what I'm going to do may seem a little bit out of order, but I'm actually going to take this black entirely off my needle, and I'm going to cut a new strand of black. This is because now I'm going to go down and do these details here, and I'm going to meet back up here. That way I didn't have too much yarn to begin with, and my end that's right here, I will have something to tie to it. So now I'm going to go in right here. This strand is way too long. So I am going to trim this down a little bit because, oh my goodness, I do not need that much yarn to work with right now. We're going to go over 1. 2. 3. On this third one, as you can see by my design, we are actually going to go down 2 more stitches as well to make a little eye. So we're going to go right here and pull a little bit, tighten up that stitch above. There we go. Now we're going to go up to the row where we were before and do 2 more stitches because he has 2 stitches between his eyes. Oh, that was way too tight. See, I actually went through the wrong hole right there, so I need to go back up. There we go. Go through where I just went through, because we want it to look sharp when our design's done. There we go. Okay, now we're going down in the center. That is much better. Gonna do a second stitch right here. There we go. And on this one, we're gonna go down 3 as well. Oop, there we go. Here's 1, 2, 3. What do you guys think? I thought about recording a video and putting this on here. Then I'm like, no, I'll go live. Would you guys have rather had this as a video, or do you enjoy the live stream? I do try my best to reply to the comments on both. Sometimes I get a little busy, but I wasn't sure, so I thought I'd hop on live this evening. But if you guys would prefer a video, I am more than happy to put out a video. There we go. Pulled that a little too tight, so we're going to loosen it up just a smidge. So now we're right here. I'm going to do a 3rd strand of black and start right here, work my way up and around. So I think that would be the simplest course of action here. After that, we will be done with all the black yarn on this project. I know, personally, I hate black yarn. Some people like to work with it. I do not, especially when I'm crocheting. Black yarn is just terrible. What is your guys' least favorite yarn? I don't know. Mine's definitely black yarn. Which for the longest time, I really liked the Big Twist brand yarn. But just in the last month, I crocheted a baby blanket for a new cousin. And I don't know if Joann's changed their formula, if they have like a different person, like company making it, producing their yarn. I'm not sure, but oh my goodness, I think the quality has gone down so much. I do not plan on buying any more Big Twist, which is really sad because that was one of my favorites for the longest time. We are right here at the top of this little T. Oh, that was too tight. Loosen that up a little. So now we're right here. So we're going to go up one and over one. The design's starting to take shape. He's starting to look up at us, isn't he? Okay. Again, this is 6 stitches high, so there's 1, 2, let's see, there we go, 3, I am going to take a look in the middle real quick. Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't pull it all the way through where I should have right here. So I do have a little bit of yarn crazy. I am going to go ahead turn this inside out, and sew in some of my ends before things get too unmanageable. So I'm gonna pull this here. This was one of my longer ends. There we go. This right here. Looks like this guy got knotted. Just gotta separate them a little bit from where I was sewing. They can get caught. Let's see. That's what I was afraid of, is that I was sewing in the wrong place. So we are gonna have to unravel a little bit. And what I actually do when I catch the wrong stitch on the inside is I cut it and I tie it off. So I'm gonna tie these two ends while we're in here. And we're gonna cut. We're gonna tie these two from where I was stitching in the wrong place. Oops. There we are. And I'm gonna tie these two right here as well. These little snip. This one didn't really have anything too awfully close to it, so what I'm going to do is put it on a yarn needle. We're going to weave it into one of these stitches here. Since this is 2 layers thick, you won't see this on the outside. We're just going to tie a little knot. There we go. Cut that end. And that leaves this longer end from the beginning. Again, we're just going to put it in a layer in between here. And we're going to tie it off and snip. I'm going to leave this one because I'm going to tie it off to the end of the one I'm working on now. There we go. Good as new. So I need to attach back to my working yarn here. Can't leave it in the middle. And we were right in this area. Okay. Yep. So I am just going to continue and go down. Sometimes it can get a little convoluted when you use multiple different strands of the same color, but I prefer to do it because I don't like to have 10 yards of yarn on my needle. It gets a little overwhelming and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm never going to finish this. So I just completed these two, so all I have left is this panel of 6, these two, and this stitch here for the black. I am cutting another one. I am guilty, but it's okay, because you'll never be able to tell from the outside. I'm going to finish this here. Oh, there we go. It does look like my stitches got a little froggy on the machine right here. There we go. It was just like a looser stitch, but it's all right. We covered it up. Gonna do our third one here. Four. Now we're gonna go finish here. Looky there, we have finished all of our black. So the outline of our little toady guy is starting to take shape. So we're going to turn this inside out here and tie off the rest of our black. There we go. That one got a little split there. We're going to tie off these two. Get these black ends out of my workspace here. I'm going to tuck this underneath the stitch and tie it off as well. Get it out of here. We're going to tie right there. Perfect. Oop, don't want to pucker that. It's a little too tight. And there we go. Now I think I'm going to go in with what I'm using as the skin tone, which usually he's a more tan, but this is like a light dusty rose color. And I don't know, I really like the color, and I think it'd complement the mint green better than a tan would. Plus, my husband, he challenged me to use up some scraps off of my wall of yarn cakes, and this happened to be up there, so it's a win-win for everybody. So what we're doing is this row right here that says 8 on it. We're just going to start above our black. This part doesn't require too much counting because we're just filling in this space here. Hopefully he doesn't look funny with pink skin, but I think it'll look pretty good. Oh, I got it caught on the edge of my table. Oh my goodness. There we go. Loosen him up a little bit. I appreciate you guys hopping on here and hanging out with me for a little bit this evening. I don't usually do too many duplicate stitch hats for my markets when I sell in the winter, just because it's so hard to tell what people will want and like what designs they like. And they're a lot of work for a lot of uncertainty. But I do take them as like a custom order on my Facebook page and stuff like that. I do think it was the right decision to do the outline first. Kind of gives me a nice guide to go by. See, when you don't have to count as much, it definitely goes a little bit faster. There we go. So for the first time ever, I did actually get on Hirschner's and put in a yarn order. I'm very excited for that. It was like an $80 order. That was kind of bad. But they have these combination packs where it's 8 skeins of yarn and it's 4 different colors. And it's supposed to be like an already made color scheme so you don't have to try to match your colors. And they're designed to make baby blankets and stuff. So you get the 4 different colors and you get 2 of each skein. They're like 400 yards. Mine arrives this Saturday. I'm so excited. I've been watching the tracking number, just hoping that it'll come early. I don't think it will, but I'm definitely very excited for that. Growing up, one of my memories is my grandmother would always get the Hirschner's catalog and we'd look at it together. Thankfully, their prices online are a little bit lower than the catalog, and I was able to get free shipping too, so we'll see how that turns out. Again, I definitely suggest when you're doing duplicate stitching or any other designs, dot paper and graph paper are my absolute best friend, okay? I cannot stress to you enough how much I use that. That is why I came out with my cute little book on Amazon, just to kind of put together some of the tools that I use the most when I'm planning my videos to try to help you guys out. I do think that after this row of tan, I am going to hop off alive. I have some housework to do, honestly. And duplicate stitching takes forever. So I do appreciate you guys hopping on here with me. And after I finish this hat, I will make a cute little YouTube reel of it. If you guys would like more duplicate stitch tutorials in the future, please let me know in the comments. I know that's something I do not really do much on my channel. But other than that, I really appreciate you guys hopping on here with me this evening, and I hope that you have had just so much fun working on your projects lately, and I wish you every success. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and happy crafting, everybody.